This is Laugh Smartly, recorded live with your hosts, Biff, Lucky, and Mr. Fun. All right, guys, here we are, the first episode under our new brand, Laugh Smartly. And for those in the audience that are good listeners, we said Laugh Smarter last week. Unfortunately, there is a website that's something which we are not going to pay for, by the way, the laughsmarter.com website. So we've changed the name slightly to Laugh Smartly. I think you got
Okay, so Laugh Smartly. Okay,
Yep.
we used to talk about it all.
Right.
Laugh Smartly is, I think we went back and forth, and we thought the branding described us better, what we would actually talk about on.
Yep.
Right?
We are going to laugh. There's always laughs in our, and people have a good time, and we laugh amongst ourselves, and we know the audience laughs. Mr. Fun plays obviously a very big part in that, which will come to his joke of the week in just a moment. But I think we're proud of that. I think we're proud of the entertainment value we have from that standpoint, from a humor standpoint. But I think we're also proud of the fact that people learn things, or we talk about things that people might find interesting. I think that's part of where we came from.
Okay. Popular minds want to know what Scotty's Vodka, is that still a predominant sponsor?
It is our predominant sponsor. I see it on your chest. I have my mini bottle yet again. And while Mr. Fun doesn't have mini, but he has it inside of him because he's been drinking Scotty's vodka tonight.
I went to a happy hour and I had 6 Scotty's. I call them Scotty's and Club with a lime. And around the fourth one, I said I would like 2 limes instead of 1.
Because it's a long journey from downtown Bethesda. The scurvy will just run rapid if he doesn't have the limes.
Yes.
Right,
and I felt like I was incredibly capable until I got on this podcast in terms of my response after those. Hey, listen, can you tease the audience with just commemorate, memorialize it? How many episodes did we do with our prior name?
So that's interesting. So I talked about it last week, which was our 150th episode. Yeah. And so I'm doing the background work for what we've done with Talk About, and then changing over to the new name. And it go online, it says we've done 151 episodes. Forgotten that we had canned number 2. Episode 2 has been hidden in time memorial because of certain things that were said back then, which maybe we have to uncover those stories again on episode 2. But we proudly did it, which I think we talked about it for 34 months. Under the Talk About name.
Tease our audience with why are we changing the name? What are we going to bring them that's different today?
Okay, let me ask a question first, and then we'll go to this.
Yes.
Okay, Scotty's. Normally with Talk About, we would have a drink, we'd have a recipe. Yeah. So in Talk Smartly, is it one part? I'm sorry, Laugh Smartly. Is it one part laugh, 2 Smartlies?
It's there. It's we are
now
not
answer his question.
We are not going to be bound to any rules like that. And to answer his question, he should have listened to the first part of the conversation that you and I just literally had, Lucky.
What about this? What about
this? How we came up with the name. So let me go back to Mr. Fun's question.
I wanted to talk about this.
Okay, we will. That we're seeing Mr. Fun, which is also part of the change, that we are seeing him on camera as opposed to be just hidden behind a microphone. Going back to his initial question, the name is more descriptive of what we are as a podcast. That's why we wanted to make the change. We think that it'll draw a bigger audience for us because of it's easier to describe. It's easier for people to get through the algorithms. We are very proud of the number of listeners we have, but we know by what we've been doing on YouTube that we can get a larger audience, and we think this is an opportunity for us to share it far and wide. So that is why, Mr. Fun. Again,
I thought it was to reveal that I'm a real person and not just
there is something to that. So we're pleased with that. The other part of it that has come with us with Scotty's Vodka is Rockfish. So Rockfish has the musical bed for the intro that everybody just heard, and we are thrilled that Rockfish is joining us again for this ride. And if there's a way to incorporate full songs, we'll do it at the end of the podcast like we've been doing in the outro before. So enough of that.
Okay, here's another question.
So many questions.
And because I need to know these things so I can prepare the rest of my podcasting career. Are we going to eat things like we did in the old podcast? Talk about like the scorpions and try to eat the 12 hot dogs, 12 donuts. Are we going to do that?
I think we still only have 2 real rules: no politics of any measure, and no religion. Everything else is fair game to what we want to do. And
God bless you guys for that. God bless
Okay.
you.
Mr. Fun, come on now.
All right. Here we go, Mr. Fun. With that as an intro, what is your joke of the week?
So the idea of me unveiling myself, unmasking myself, was that I have to be a little bit more less risque so that I can get an audience. Don't offend anybody. And this will change over time. I'm sure I'll relapse at any minute. But all right, so here's a joke. So Johnny learns that the neighbor next door had a baby. Johnny's a kid. And his father says, listen, Johnny, the kid doesn't have ears. The baby doesn't have ears. So we're going to go over there and meet him. But listen, don't mention the ears. Don't say anything about the ears. Johnny goes, I got you, Dad. I'm cool. And so they go over there. And Johnny's very cool. He looks into the bassinet and he says, your baby has beautiful feet. And the mother goes, oh, Johnny, thank you for saying that. That's so nice. And he says, he also has a beautiful nose. And he goes, Johnny, thanks for saying that. And he goes, he also has beautiful eyes. Johnny, you're such a nice neighbor. Thank you for saying that. And he says, can he see through the eyes? Does he have good vision? And he says, yeah. He goes, good, because that kid couldn't wear fucking glasses. Is it mean? Is it mean?
There you go. No, that's good. And it's
good one.
At least you came out of, just with an F word.
I know.
As your first joke of the new regime here at Laugh Smartly. So
all right, good.
So and then going back to Lucky's other point, trying to understand what's the balance between humor and stories. I don't know, and let's figure it out now, Lucky. Because what is on your mind that we can talk about today?
What is on my mind? So my the smartly side of my mind, not the laugh side of my mind, the smartly side of the mind. Okay, here we go. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame had their inductees, and I just wanted to get your guys' take on this year's crop. And we've actually talked about some of these groups prior, but so I was looking at the list and I was like, do they really fit in the Hall of Fame? I think everybody does that every year. Okay, so Salt and Pepper, and Outkast were two that went in this year. What do you guys think?
So this is under the guise that it's not just rock and roll, it's just more, in some respects, popular music, right?
I think that's it. They
Salt
have
and Pepper
expanded.
Is a hip hop. Would you call Salt and Pepper hip hop, Mr. Fun?
Yes.
Right. Hip
rap.
And Outkast is probably a fusion band of sort of hip hop and pop, and in some respects, funk, things like that. Like Outkast. That's Andre 2000. Was that his name? 3000.
I don't know what you're saying there.
Yeah, that's the singer from Outkast.
Okay,
but that's the Polaroid picture song, right? Isn't that Outkast?
Yeah.
So I think they've expanded it. So they have to. What's the rule? Is you have to be 20 years, I think,
something like
as
that,
a group.
Yeah.
Something like
they
that.
have their criteria. Cyndi Lauper was another one that got in this year.
That seems like a lifetime achievement award. I mean, you would have thought, that was the early 80s where she was, right? So what they have that 44 years ago, 45 years ago.
Yeah. Why it took her so long to get in is an interesting question.
Right.
Because she's not really minting any new music now. So her career is essentially been over. The only really, I guess the next three are rock and roll in some form or fashion. One, Bad Company is definitely rock and roll.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
The White Stripes. Okay. And Soundgarden.
Gosh, I don't even know these. I feel so uninformed. I mean, I was just thinking about Salt and Pepper, Shoop. Do you guys remember Shoop?
Yeah.
Do you remember Push It?
Yeah.
Those were fucking classics.
Yeah.
Those were classics.
I think the bands, going back to the rock bands, Bad Company, they've had some songs. A self-named song was popular. Yeah. Bad Company was one of their more popular ones, right?
Yeah.
White Stripes, so Jack White, and it's his ex-wife now. I think they play together. They were a two-piece band, pretty impressive. Yep. So that's all right. And then Soundgarden was Chris Cornell, who died.
Yep.
I think, right? He was sort of the the grunge movement coming out of Seattle. So, I guess they're okay. They're not as popular as some of the bands that they put in previously, but.
So, okay. And we've talked about this before, like the age of iconic music. It seems this era is not as prolific as prior eras in terms of like 70s rock, then
But do you ever feel
rap
like
coming online.
right?
Like
Do
it
you
just
ever
doesn't
feel
seem as
like
iconic.
though? Do you ever feel like though that like it's 20 years later that people reflect on the music and then it becomes iconic? Like are there songs right now that will become the songs that people say that was 2025 or the 2020s? I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's again kind of using the benchmark of Outkast and Salt and Pepper. Look, I think that what we think as rock and roll, iconic 70s rock, using that example that you did, Lucky, is definitely different because rock and roll per se doesn't exist at the same level it does. They're more kind of alternative bands, if you want to call them rock bands, right? There's no real Metallica, you could argue, is still sort of big, and maybe Pearl Jam, but they're older, right? They're older bands now. I think you've got to look at, Taylor Swift. She's going to be
Yeah.
undoubtedly in, right? Beyonce, right? These are popular performers with the, Ed Sheeran. I mean, these are so you could say generationally, there's just a different style of music for this generation.
So is it? But maybe what about the era of bands? Like, is it? Are we in an era? And I have to think through this. But are we in an era of more individual solo performers versus the bands? Like they had individual solo performers in this era of rock and roll, 60s, 70s. But it seems like iconic bands. I don't know.
Yeah, not as many. You can think of a Green Day just off the top of my head. That's a big band. The Killers. There are some, but it's not. It's seemingly mostly front people that are the bands are named after. So anyway, well, interesting.
Who died recently? Who died? The Ozzy Osbourne. Did he die?
That was about a month and a half ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm behind the times.
Sports page. So the title of this headline is "Cat is out of the bag. Does it ever get back into the bag?" The betting scandals across all the sports are just popping up left and right. I think hockey may be the only one I haven't heard of a betting scandal, but baseball came up. They had pitchers in games giving bettors insights and so that they could bet on individual pitches. So Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz both played for the Cleveland Indians. They both got indicted, looking at 65 years in prison for pitch tipping to bettors. So you could bet first pitch ball, first pitch strike, first pitch certain miles per hour.
Right.
So
I've talked to a couple of people that gamble regularly, and one of them had made the comment that the in-game stuff for certain sports is just wrong. Right, because
they call it micro betting. Micro betting,
yeah, right. It's because you to bet on it as a single pitch.
Yeah,
it's just it's throwing fuel on the fire. Yeah. So it was bound to happen. It's obviously happening in other things. To your point, Lucky. So I don't. They're not going to be able to put the genie back in the bottle. If that's your question on sports betting, I think that's out.
Well, can they rein it in to get these scandalous stories out of it? Because it's going to ruin the sports. I mean, and I think on the heels of this baseball one, Major League Baseball went to their betting partners and said, get rid of the in-game stuff. And I think they agreed, which is great. But in the NBA, they just had that scandal too, where the Portland Trailblazers coach got indicted for, illegal gambling things and a couple other players. And it was all individual stat betting that they were like, hey, I'm not going to get 14 points, bet the under on me, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the group that's almost and just across sports that's the hardest to police are the referees. You got to think they're rife in the umpires for getting under the table money because they can really control what happens in a game. Right? They can call more penalties. Basketball had a problem 5, 6, 7 years ago in the NBA. They could call a penalty on every play if they really wanted to. Right? You could do that in football and change the dynamic of a game. Surely you can do it in hockey for that matter. So I think that's one of the groups that's going to be the hardest to police.
Yeah. Well, this player thing, when they can one pitch, hey, I'm going to throw a ball. It really has no consequence in the game, but somebody can bet on it and make a ton of money.
Which is just shocking to me, going back to last week when we talked about what profession you'd want to be. If you're a professional baseball player, and I know they're not all on long-term contracts, but really you're going to sacrifice what is the potential of millions of dollars for a I'm not saying a several $100,000 payday isn't insignificant, but really, you're putting that at
Well,
risk?
Emmanuel Clase was one of the preeminent relief pitchers in the game. One of the most dominant players, made millions of dollars. And yeah, he was getting like $10,000 kickbacks on these transactions, which the money thing. But you start to wonder, are these guys into someone for something? Like, for them to make that leap to go and gamble, do they owe somebody something? Did they do something,
or they're just dumb. They're just dumb to do it. They're just dumb to do it. Or they're just dumb to do it. They have the potential to make so much money, and they're going to make a few bucks, a lot less bucks.
Yeah.
On that.
I don't want to go too sports heavy, so I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I did read this week about the Colorado Rockies general manager job being the worst job in baseball. I'd never given any thought. This guy, Paul DePodesta, right? He was the guy that the Jonah Hill character was loosely based on. Just took the job in Colorado. And I'm like, well, why is the Rockies job in Colorado the worst job in sports? It's because, and I never thought about it, I sort of knew this from the hitting standpoint, that the air's thinner, so the ball travels further. So people bang homers left, right, and center out in Coors Field. And so does the home team. They have the highest slugging percentage of any team in baseball. The problem is that the pitches don't move as much because they're at altitude, right? So a curveball doesn't curve as much, a slider doesn't slide as much, whatever it is. So the balls are coming straighter. And then the problem is the Rockies go to some place at sea level and the balls are moving, feet, right? Compared to maybe what was a few inches. And their pitchers also are all out of whack because they're not sure what to throw. And so they're saying nobody can ever win in Denver. They've been to the playoffs 5 times in 35 years.
I disagree. I think the worst job in sports is to be a New York Jet fan.
Yeah.
It's so ugly. It's so ugly. Hey, I bet my wife she couldn't make me really happy and sad in one sentence. And she said, I sure can. My friends say you're the biggest dick in town. Okay. Sorry, not good for the new podcast. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good.
All right.
Good.
All right. And this is a little bit of a preview. So Christmas is coming. Okay. Yes. We are actually 5.5 weeks away, roughly.
Yep.
From Christmas. I know Thanksgiving's not here, and I usually don't like to preempt Thanksgiving, by giving Christmas a lot of props. But is there anything that you're going to put on your list? Are you working on a list? Anything coming to mind you want on your Christmas list this year, Mr. Fun?
I just want cocaine and hookers.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, I want.
If you get the cocaine, I'll get the hookers for it. Yeah. Okay, so we've got Mr. Fun taken care of.
I'm just joking. I'm sorry. I want. No, wait. I'd have to really think about this. What I want for Christmas. I don't know. What do you?
I'll just go. I've got a big trip out to Europe right before Christmas, so that to me is frankly, I don't need anything specifically. Surely, I'd always take some, golf stuff if I needed, or if I had a piece of equipment I wanted. I don't really need clothes. I don't need, I'm not lacking anything at this point. So I don't know. It's hard for, that's sort of a dad thing to say. There's nothing I really want. At this point.
Yeah.
You don't want socks or a tie?
Yeah. Tie.
No
I have a closet full of ties I'm never going to wear again.
When's the last time you wore a tie?
I wore it to a funeral. That's the only last time I wore a tie. I have not worn it in a business sense in well over a year. I
think the tie has gone the way of the white wig.
Do you think your ties, Biff, are in style?
I think my tiles are traditional ones. They're kind of middle of the road, nothing too fat, nothing too skinny. But wait a second, white wig.
Yeah, those were really popular in like the late 1700s, and now nobody wears a white wig.
Except in the British court system, I think they still wear wigs, right?
Right. I think the white wig has gone away, and the tie will follow. I've replaced the idea of nice ties with fun socks. I wear a fun sock to work every day.
Okay.
Today, for instance, mine has pizza slices on it.
Are you worried about eating your ankle when you're at the?
No, because I take the shot again. I'm on the shot again. Not even hungry.
Okay. All right. What is the worst gift to receive? What is something you just don't want or you don't like getting or you've not liked?
I previewed this list. I was at dinner with Bill G and Kevin P and Mrs. Biff, and asked the question. And to give Mrs. Biff props, she came up with two good ones. One we've talked about, fruitcake. Nobody wants fruitcake. Two, a self-help book. If somebody gave you a self-help book, that might be the worst thing you could ever get, I would think. And for me personally, related note, if anybody ever gave me a business book and I didn't ask for it, I would be it'd be miserable. I just wouldn't want that gift. I think that would be the worst gift. So.
Yeah,
I get business books. I get business books all the time from recruiters. So I get the business book, and then they follow up because they're impressed with themselves, and they said, "Did you enjoy the book?" Blah blah. And I go, "I can't read." That's how I respond to those emails. One time I responded, "I'm blind."
And what do you do with the books? Do you re-gift the books?
No, I put them on my shelf so I look like I read them and I'm smart.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the little library down the street. You know, the one of those free
I'm
ones.
blind is the best way to respond to those.
These are the three things that are my worst gift to receive. Things I need to put together. Like, I just hate getting a gift. It takes me a shitload of time to put it all together. I don't like Christmas themed things because I open it. Oh, it's great. I can't use the damn thing until next year.
Oh.
So that, and then something that somebody clearly regifted. Like, that somebody regifted that. Like, why would they give me a platter of some sort? Just because they probably needed a gift.
So Lucky, on our very first episode of the previously named podcast, we shared Christmas gifts we had just received because it was early January.
Yes.
And you talked about the Bartesian.
Yes. Okay.
Since January of 2023, and you had instant remorse on that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was, I can't remember if it was gift remorse or you bought it or whatever it was. You probably gave it to each other. How many times in almost 3 years have you used the Bartesian?
Okay, so I just had a little staycation with some Jim N from the Northern Neck, and Rob G and Brian E came over. We had a 2-day sleepover, played some golf, did some fun stuff, and I gave a tour of the Bartesian. It was the first time that I even said the word Bartesian in about a year.
Right.
So the Bartesian is not minted a drink probably in the last 2.5 years. Okay.
And just and I say it like people know what it is. Let's call it just generously a Keurig for pre-mixed drinks, and then you add the alcohol to the flavor, right? That's sort of the pod, or something like that. So it's taking up space, as many things do in our.
It sits in a perfect spot in my house, but it just doesn't get any use. Yeah.
I forgot that you had remorse. I remember you bragging about it.
It was great for a week or two, but it's funny. I've seen the damn commercials for it. So they're trying to hook some people into it. I'm telling you, if anybody wants to get somebody in their family a Bartesian, I have a great used one that I'll sell you at a good price.
Do you have friends or family who buy you a gift and they're like, I thought I would start a tradition of you getting a ornament every year or something like that? Yeah. And you're like, I didn't ask you for this tradition. Like, does that happen in your life? Does anybody try to start a tradition?
So we had a tradition, which actually I didn't mind. We used to get an ornament from the White House,
right?
From in-laws or my in-laws, and it was great. And then they stopped, right? And now I got to keep the tradition going, right? Because I actually like the tradition of it. But sometimes they become traditions over time, as opposed to saying this is the new tradition. To your point. But I want to go back to something real quick that Lucky said.
Okay.
First time ever I've heard him describe him and 3 other adult men having a sleepover.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's just land on that for a moment. That he used a term of youth to describe
Biff,
4 adult men.
Biff. They invited me to their sleepover.
Oh.
And I declined because I didn't have jammies.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't have anybody to drive you home if you got scared in the middle of the night.
He doesn't like.
Apparently they were going to do a séance in the middle.
No,
Weed,
we
playing with a
did
Ouija
all
board.
man stuff. We did all kinds of man stuff. We went to the Terps basketball game. We had some drinks beforehand.
Wait, what happened at the sleepover though? Was
But
it
instead of everybody going back to their houses, they all came to my house and we hung out. And it just looked like the good old days. And we played golf the next day.
Okay.
All
What did
right.
you do at night though? You formed a little circle in your boxers.
We
What did you do?
had some, we had some drinks. We ate some late night snacks, watched a little TV. Caught up. It was a very nice time.
It's all
I
good.
won't invite you guys to the sleepover the next
I
time.
wouldn't
Biff,
call it a sleepover.
actually-
in the future.
Biff, we've had sleepovers. I refer to when you sleep over as sleepover.
I have never called it a sleepover. I say I'm staying over at your house. I don't say I'm sleepover. So there you go. Well, good for you.
Right.
All right, Mr. Fun. I saw this story and I don't know why, but I thought of you because this seems like something you would have gotten into in your college age, college days. So, police at Purdue University last week, they had this really interesting situation. There was a man walking around campus covered from head to toe in peanut butter.
Ooh.
No clothes, just slathered on peanut butter.
Yeah. Chunky
and
or regular? Chunky?
Probably whatever he could get himself, get his hands on.
I'm guessing the guy was chunky. By the way.
He was. I'm sorry, I missed the first. He's naked.
Naked with slathered peanut butter all over his body. But the main issue was that, and the reason why police were involved is because people were concerned about safety issues for people with peanut butter allergies.
Oh, wow!
Which is, come on, give me a break. You can't just get arrested for being naked these days. You got to be threatening because of your potential allergic application on your body.
No jelly, just peanut butter.
No jelly. Would you have done that, Mr. Fun, back in the day?
I saw these people on social media that were putting peanut butter on their face and having their dogs lick it off. And then I started to use my imagination to be like, where else could you put peanut butter? And then I never thought about it again. I didn't want to go there
until now.
It made me angry with myself.
So as we also previously established, though, Lucky, Mr. Fun is more into the butter, not the peanut butter, right?
That's an old story.
Yeah, it is an old story. Movie theater days.
Yes,
he is. Let's think about this. He's run naked, not walk naked, and he had butter slathered all over him.
I was much more athletic. I was much more thin and athletic back then, so I could be coated with butter and still run.
Hard to grab.
I was hard to grab. I was slithery.
Speaking of movies, so check in on with you guys on this. So I saw the movie Nuremberg, which is a limited release movie. I saw it earlier this week. I went by myself. So what's your take on going to movies by yourself? Because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's so weird.
I think it's the same as having a sleepover. It's kind of a loser move.
I've done it twice in my life, and I remember both times. And I vowed, I think after the first one, I'd never do it again. And I did it a second time, and that was, I shared that previously. That's where I was in London, and they had reserved seats in that virtually two-thirds empty theater, and the guy sat next to me.
Yeah,
it was awkward, and so
that's weird.
I suppose it's not a big deal as long as it's you're not too conspicuous, I suppose.
It's such a big deal. You cannot go to a movie by yourself.
Have you ever gone to a movie Have you gone to a movie by yourself?
No, I would go to a bar by myself. I would never go to a movie by myself.
Why?
Because I would get in my head and be like, "This is." I'd watch a movie at home by myself, but I wouldn't be out in public.
But why wouldn't you go into a movie theater where it's dark and nobody can see you versus a bar where you're by yourself or a restaurant?
No, because the intention, if I go to a bar, would be to talk to people. The movie, I'm sitting there silently by myself.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know.
Highly recommend the movie for the listeners out there. Go see it if you can. It's a limited release. It'll probably be out on one of the services sometime soon.
I wasn't covered with peanut butter, but I remember getting naked in front of my wife, and I said, "What do you like most about me? My handsome face or my naked body?" And she said, "Your sense of humor." That's what she said.
Very nice.
I got a random one. And I thought about this the other day because the temperature dropped like a rock on Monday around here,
Yeah,
right? It was super
yeah.
cold. And I know it's true many parts in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. So I go to the gym and I have shorts on, right? So I go to the gym, get out of the car, go to the gym, shorts, and I come back out actually in shorts after I cleaned up. But what temperature is it too cold to wear shorts when you start to look like a tool?
You're
What
working out
Yeah, working out.
In
17
transit.
degrees.
So
So you're in transit. What's
You
the
have a
temperature that
sweatshirt and
says?
shorts, theoretically.
What's that?
Sweatshirt and shorts?
Yes,
Yeah, 17 degrees.
17 degrees.
Yeah.
I would wear I have sweatpants and I do wear them when it's cold, but
Right.
it just happen to be what I have on. But I'll wear shorts pretty much any temperature around the DMV area. Like,
Yeah.
So you'll go into a store wearing shorts in January, just to pick an
yeah,
example.
yep,
Really?
yep.
What if
Wow.
you
Like
had
if I
real-
but like I don't wear my dress shorts, if you want to call it that, in the winter.
Not
But if
talking
I
about
have
that.
workout shorts and I've like worked out in the morning and I got to go run to the grocery store, I'll go like that in the winter.
What if you had really skinny Biff-like legs? Like if you had really skinny legs, would you still go in? What's those sandals?
That's the dirtiest slip-on
I
sandal.
wear these I'll wear these in the winter too.
Yeah, I have seen you wear those. They wore those at the sleepover, Mr.
That's
Fun.
it.
Oh, they read
their own. Bring your own slip-ons.
Speaking of weather, do you know meteorologists predict it's going to rain chickens and ducks this weekend? They're predicting foul weather.
That's good.
Sorry.
Did you also the big news? I think it was a couple days ago. The penny is no more. Last one was minted in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Cost 4 cents to make the single penny.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? I had just started to notice it where people weren't giving you change that required pennies.
Really?
I had actually purchased something for what was it was $12.99. I had to return it, and they gave me. I don't remember if they gave me a penny, to be honest with you, but they gave me $13 back. So they rounded it up. Have you noticed that? I've also noticed the take a penny, give a penny thing that usually sits by a register.
Gone?
They're gone, right? Because I guess they
Wait, should I get rid of my pennies or save them?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You would think at some point they're going to want them back, maybe to melt them down for something.
Have you guys ever put a penny under a microscope? It's magnificent.
Magnificent. Well, what percentage of times when you're buying something are you using cash versus your credit card these days?
Never.
Cash?
It's not a lot. I probably use cash more at restaurants than I do at a store. I just happen to have the bills there.
Yeah.
I use cash to pay anything at the golf course. That's where you tend to need it, right? Tipping and crap like that. But I don't buy a lot of stuff with cash. But at the restaurants, I do. I'll tip in cash a lot more.
What would you say of all your transactions? What percentage are cash?
Of all my transactions?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably 10%, maybe.
Yeah.
I pay cash only when I have to. I always use. Yeah.
You use cash when you go to a bar, Mr. Fun?
No.
You don't. You just all credit card. You don't pay cash. You don't tip in cash or anything.
Nope.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. So
yeah.
The final observational one. So driving home tonight before the podcast, and deer runs out in front of the car. Like it's the time of the year for deer.
Yeah. Oh dear. I
had this thought though. I think we all think that animals have better eyesight at that night than humans. Maybe not all of us, but I think it's a prevailing thought. Do you actually think that's true? Or we just because we have lights around us all the time, our eyes have changed? Or could we see as much at night if we were in the middle of the woods without any light around as an animal? Or do they have better eyes?
I think it's some animals have better eyesight than others, right? I mean, some have better smell.
Yeah,
that is more their controlled mechanism than their eyesight, right?
Do you think we would adapt or get better at it?
When, like, if
with
they
eyesight.
took away,
yeah, with eyesight, I don't know. Just like is like, would it take, just in the span of us doing it for a year? Say we lived without lights, and then in the evening, would we get better nighttime vision, or does it take a generation and change it? How things kind of move over time. I don't know. It just occurred to me that because we have lights all around us, our eyesight at night is not great. It was just and animals tend to have better eyesight at night. So
yeah. Well, you don't see animals on their computers and iPads all the times and their phones. So maybe their eyesight, our eyesight's going to shit because of all of that.
Well, look, if a tree does a tree make a noise if we don't around to hear it? I think there might be animals on the phones. You just don't know. There could be.
You know what you call a deer with no eyes, right?
A what? Say that again.
A deer with no eyes. You know what they call him, right? No idea. No idea.
No idea.
You know what you call a deer with no eyes or penis? No fucking idea.
That's good. That's good. Again, the same inside baseball. Mr. Fun had no idea I was going to talk about deer.
No idea.
No idea to talk about deer. So, with that though, Mr. Fun, we're going to carry this tradition over.
What's that?
As you mentioned at the beginning, it might not be as risque as they were in the past, but do you have a risque joke to bring us home?
I like to masturbate when I run, so I can see how far I've come. No?
All right. Let me propose something. Okay. If the risky genre for jokes was what talk about was, what's another joke genre we could have? Like,
okay, give it to me.
I'm just asking, is it like bad dad joke genre?
Oh, here's a bad dad joke.
Or
I wanted to say sorry to my wife, so I sent her a rocket ship. It was an Apollo G.
Apollo G. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so Lucky's point is a good one, which we can have this discussion in front of the audience.
I can't control myself.
Okay.
When I start telling jokes, I wander into bad jokes.
Maybe we just don't call it a risque joke moving forward. We just call it the last joke, which won't be the last joke, which is sort of, I suppose, a joke in and of itself because he can't help himself.
I can't help myself.
But we can call it the last joke. Maybe we call it the last joke at that point in time. But Lucky, I think the larger point, which is something we will put a new email address out there for everybody. We'll call it feedback@laughsmartly.com. So we'll put that in the notes so people can get a hold of us. I'm sure if they wanted to go to the old one, they could still get a hold of us at talkabout2023@gmail.com, right? Luck, that goes.
Yes, 100%.
Something you see. So, but we will migrate to feedback@laughsmartly.com. So we do hope everybody continues to do that. There will be a transition here. Luck, we are on what services outside of what the traditional podcasting stuff?
We're on X and Instagram and Facebook. So we'll be coming out with some new Laugh Smartly branded sites.
I hope everybody likes it. We kept the same base colors for our logo. Everybody likes the Laugh Smartly logo. I think it's gotten, and we will hopefully come up with some swag that at a minimum we can have. But I hope others would want to wear it as well. So, Mr. Fun, as we do now, again, the great unveiling for you on video.
Yes.
Any final thoughts from you?
If I can't thank you enough. I mean, you have been motivated for this name change and for my reveal, and I think you've done a lot of hard work, and I really appreciate it.
And wait a minute, we're probably going to get some questions. Is this face really a face, or is it like a Sora?
No, this is.
Is that a real face? Because
you can't Sora this good-looking face, my man.
Okay, you're not an AI generated.
You never saw a face like that.
I feel like in the dark, like I am here, I should just go with this. No background, just a.
You look like a floating head.
I know.
You do look with the black shirt. He does look. I
know. I like it.
I saw George Clooney. I read something. He said that Sora is going to be like the end of humanity. Like now, everybody's doing the average joke, and
people think I'm like a Sora guy now. So this guy pulls me aside at the happy hour today, and he's like, dude, did you hear about the $1.8 million studio that they closed in Atlanta? It's a big deal because now they feel like they can use something like AI to create backgrounds for movies and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not the fucking Sora police. Like, I don't know how this all works. But yeah, I think it's
you're everybody's Sora expert in our network.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, that like the background to movie scenes, to TV scenes, they can create backgrounds now. They don't need to build big sets.
Well, they've been doing that for years. That was CGI, computer
is that?
graphics.
Oh,
Computer
yeah.
graphics. That's, I mean, look, the first Star Wars was computer generated backgrounds, or if models and stuff like that. I mean, it's been around. So there is a fine line. I think they're
Yeah.
worried about they're worried about the acting parts at the end of the day, and the writing parts. So
Yeah,
we'll
it's
see where
so
it goes.
I don't really understand how it works because I did what I think is funny. I did and I'm not going to put this out anywhere for business or anywhere, but I typed in there my name talking to a 6-foot squirrel, and I say, "Have you seen any nuts?" And he says, "You mean these nuts?" And I said, "Point to your stomach." And he rubbed his nipples instead of pointing to his stomach. Like, I think they're messing with me. Like, because they think they're funnier than I am.
Good for you. So, all right, guys. As I said, the first of the new podcast era and YouTube era. So it's good to see you as always. We'll endeavor to do
So
this thing
excited. I feel like a newborn. I think I'm going to shave my ass tonight, and just so it's all smooth. I
You
feel
look
like
like
a newborn.
you look like with that shirt and background. It looks like your head just came through the vaginal canal. So that's
I don't know what to say.
it's good. So, all right. Well, as we do, it's good to see you guys, and for everybody, please thank you for listening to us and watching us again. And I'm glad you're along for this ride, and can't wait to keep doing it with you. Until the next time we do it, let me just say goodbye.